Hi, good evening, this is Lynx. I think you guys can kind of see the cards. I hope you can see the cards. I'm going to lift them up and show them to you. I've been trying to figure out how to do this in a way that you can see. These are Japanese Hanafuda cards. I'm going to show you how to read with them. I was going to show you how to do the game. There's a solitaire game that you do to play to get your fortune, and I've done it a couple of times now. I've been playing with these to see how they unlock their secrets so that I can show people a little bit about what I've discovered. I got another deck that you play solitaire with too. It's a European. I got it a long time ago. It's silver foil, and you lay all the cards out and you play this sort of solitaire game with it, and then it's all basically classical mythology and planetary gods, and whoever's left, you put them together and it's your fortune. These go back to 17th century. They were used for gambling, and or at least that's what is said, but I always suspect, personally I always suspect divination first, gambling later. But they're called Hanafuda, which means flower. They're flower cards. And from what I could understand and from what I've read about them, Hanafuda also means nose. As the story goes, as I was reading, you would touch your nose to tell someone you wanted the cards because it was illegal to gamble. At the time, it was very strict in Japan. It was illegal to gamble. People used these to gamble, and they were small because they could be hidden. Now I have another deck coming that's bigger, and they're very beautiful, very elaborate, and they're poker-sized. And these are kind of a bitch to shuffle. So I'm going to show you in another video using that deck how to do the solitaire game. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about the cards because not much is out there, and I've discovered some things already. So they're divided into 12 months, 4 sets of cards into 12 months. And what happens is you play the solitaire game, and whichever set you match, you get all 4 sets. That's, you read the fortune for that month, for that collection of cards. I've divided them into 4 sets of 3. You could divide them into 3 sets of 4. You could divide them into 2 sets of 6. Just to play with them here, I've divided them up, and I've learned a little something about the meanings. So I'm going to go through them with you. Is that all I wanted to say about them? I wrote some notes down. So here's the first month. January is the crane and the pine. And this particular set, there's 4 of them. Now, if you play with these, you're going to start to learn something about the sets. You don't necessarily have to keep them together in the sets. You don't have to do the solitaire game, is what I'm finding out, okay, which is what I suspected. Now, this particular set, you'll notice that the pine is all together. Like the pine are the same. The cards don't change. So you got see these? They're kind of the same. If you think about what the pine signifies, it makes sense that they would be the same. But like on the next month, the plum blossom, the cards differ a little. And then in 2 different directions, which tells me something. Okay, so if you start to play with them, you can notice there's directions on some of them that tell you a little something. Some are slightly different. Some of the sets, the cards match. Some of them, like the moon, you could read them like this, or you could put them together like this. So that tells you something if you know what you're doing and you're playing and you're listening and watching what the symbolism is telling you. Flowers have incredible symbolism. And that's why I got these, because I wanted to play with the flower symbolism. So our first month is the crane and pine, which would signify affection, celebration. It's obviously the new year because it's January. Auspiciousness, patience, new beginnings, cold, dark winter. The crane is a bird of happiness. Could also be a messenger. Could also signify a birth. So then if you go into the next month, which is February, we've got the nightingale. Nightingales are traditionally a symbol of love and compassion and hope. And the plum blossom is profoundly, the plum blossom symbolism is profoundly rich in Asian culture. So I'm going to say that the more you play with these, the more you discover. But this month and these cards in this month signify the coming of spring, wishes for spring. So this would be your goal and planning time. So if these all came up, and this will make sense when I show you how to play the game, because like I say, you play solitaire, you set them up in 4 rows, and then you keep flipping, and you look for pairs, and then you want to match all 4, and any one of the months that you match all 4, well, then you look at what the meanings are for that month. So like what's what I'm going over now. So then the next one will be Sakura, the cherry blossom. That's March, right? Another one that's rich in especially Japanese culture: spring, youth, and beauty, elegance, grace. But also the sakura is, the beauty is short-lived. So it's springtime. Those of you who know cherry blossoms or live where there are cherry blossoms in spring, it's insanely beautiful and fragrant. And it's a time full of hope, beauty, grace, and richness, but it is very short-lived. And it reminds you to focus on the present. The next one I've got, so then that's 3 months. That's January, February, March. Then I've got April, which is the wisteria. And with the wisteria is the cuckoo. Okay. Those of you who've grown wisteria, it's amazing. Once it takes off, I mean, it is unbelievable in the spring when the flowers come out. And it is a hardy vine that covers everything, so it's a great cover and creates shade and shelter. So also the cuckoo could signify a return home, a call in the night, honor, advancement, and status. Could also indicate protection or cover, battle, showing courage. Could also mean this month could also suggest a success later in life for reasons relating to the stories behind these cards. Okay, so that takes us into the next 4. And the first one we got is Iris, and which is May. Now, those of you who watch the Wheel of the Year, you will find that if you start to play with these, you will see they do line up. And anyone who knows about Beltane will understand that virility at this time of month makes total sense. It can mean, so this is the Iris with the bridge. There's a little bridge here. These little strips signify writing, poetry, or books. Many of the months have them. So that could be a clue to something else that would happen if it came up in relation to this. If you play with it, you'll find out. I may teach a course on these at some point because they're really unlocking a lot. So we've got the Iris, which would be virility, eating something good. Fire, managing your mind, or you will be lost. Power, also someone may be holding you down. Then we got the next month, which is the peony and butterflies. And if any of you have ever grown peonies, you know that peonies can't open without ants. Ants come along and bite them open. So the peony, which comes in June, this could be a month where this could indicate, this month could indicate that you may need help in a situation, that you can't do it alone, or that help is on its way. If you choose to attract, it could mean medicine and healing, the need for healing, transformation, happiness, or a choice specifically to become happy, flooded with emotion, devoid of emotion, wealth, good fortune, and prosperity, the ability to attract or the need to attract something. So the more you play with these, the more they unlock their secrets. The next month is the month of the boar. And those of you who have studied Celtic mythology probably already have associations with the boar relating to courage. So this would be the July month by the boar. And I've got this is the bush. This is a specific bush that I'm not familiar with. But with the boar, but it does indicate luck, swelling grains, because this would be the month where the grains are swelling in summer. Affection. It could mean danger or a pest or not being honest with yourself. August here, we've got the moon, and then the geese are in it, and then some of the cards, there's silver grass. So this month, August, would indicate romance, auspiciousness. The geese, for those of you who either practice Buddhism or other Tibetan practices, you know that when you're practicing and the geese fly overhead, it's auspicious. Romance, enticement, nightlife, spending money at night, the need for balance and insights, and or secrets being revealed, or secrets being kept. So I've got the next month. I've got the chrysanthemum, and in some here, like here, I've got the chrysanthemum. This is also the sake cup. So we've got friendship, loyalty, victory, and longevity, drinking and meeting people, as suggested by the sake cup. Could also mean agreements are being made. So, okay, we got 3 months left. October is the month of the deer and the maple. And we've got worry, sensitivity, caution, psychic ability. It's the dark part of the year. Spirits, omens, and gentleness can be suggested by this month. The next one is November. We've got the willow, the swallow, and the frog. And the individual on there is specific to Japanese legend about writing, the development of writing. So this can indicate, there's a swallow there. So these can indicate the visitor, but the visitor can be supernatural or human. Take a break, be flexible, graceful, and strong. Communication, being persistent, and don't give up. So if this month comes up, or these 4 cards come up, it means don't give up. And then the last one we got is that's the phoenix, relating to the, I do not know this flower, the Paulownia, but preparing for a new cycle, dissolution with our phoenix there. Spending money and balancing accounts, shaking off burdens by balancing your doubts and righteousness. Balancing your debts. So shaking off your burdens by balancing your debts. So whatever contracts or debts you have, this would be wrapping up those things as you begin to start again in the new year, which would start over here with the crane. So like I said, there's a game. I'll show you when I get the other cards. I'll show you how to do the game. But for those of you who have Hanafuda cards, they do unlock other secrets if you know how to talk to them. And these have unlocked these secrets, and I thought I'd share from my experience. As I opened the deck, they come in a little box like this, and as I opened it, several fell out. Now, I had thought I might use the blanks. The blanks come in here. I might use the blanks as a set of 4 blanks for a specific reason. There's a reason I would do that. there is a sun and a moon here. I would say that the we've got the iris, I think, would represent the sun, and then we've got the moon. I think those are important to have in an oracle. So they're really cool, and as I said, as I opened them, several fell out, and when I looked at what the meanings were for these, it was very interesting because they described how the cards had come to me. So I knew right away that you didn't necessarily have to play the game, and then I started playing with the cards in a little bit. Oh, these are plastic, by the way. Did I say that? They're hard plastic, so they are just a little nightmare to shuffle. So that's, like I said, why I'm going to wait for the bigger poker kind of cards to come, and I'll show you how to do the solitaire game. And then whatever sets of 4 are remaining, that's your fortune. It is said that you can only do it for yourself, but I don't believe it. I've already seen stuff come up in capacity for reading for other people, and they're really neat. And I think, since I'm all about symbols, that this is a good set of symbols to start to include and use and expand vocabulary. And like I said, if you play with them, they really start to reveal some meaning. So that's Hanafuda cards. That's a little bit of insight. I don't know. There's some writing out there about them. They don't come with any fortune-telling stuff. They come as a game. Like I said, I did a little bit of research on them, a little bit of reading on them, a little bit of reading on the history, a little bit of reading on some of the symbolism, but quite a bit of symbolism just opened up as I started to talk to them. Okay, so I am Lucky Links, as always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. That's my video on some Hanafuda cards. I hope that you found this interesting. If you'd like to schedule a reading with me, 779-302-8009 or conjurehope@gmail.com.